Good morning, students. Let's move on to the next topic, that is regular reflection. What is regular reflection? A reflection which is shown when a light falls on a smooth surface like a mirror or a very highly polished surface like any of the stainless steel utensils. Now, when the light falls on any highly polished surface, it gets reflected back in one particular direction. So this is called as regular reflection, when it is reflecting back in one particular direction. And what is irregular reflection? Irregular reflection is when the light rays fall on a rough surface and it gets reflected in different direction. So here it is shown like this, but usually irregular reflection can be seen on irregular surfaces. Okay, when the surfaces are irregular, what will happen is that when these light rays fall, it gets scattered here and there. Okay, so when the light rays, reflected rays, get scattered in different directions, this kind of reflection is called as an irregular or a diffuse reflection. So regular reflection takes place when light rays hits on a highly polished surface, and diffused reflection take place when the light ray falls on a rough surface. Now we come to the reflection of light. In the previous video, I explained what is reflection of light. Reflection of light is the bouncing back of the light rays from the surface of an object. When light rays goes and hits any surface and it bounces back, that is called as the reflection. Okay, the ray of light which falls on the object. Now see, this is the ray of the light and it is coming and falling on this particular object. So the ray of the light which falls on an object is called as incident ray. And then this incident ray, what happens is it comes and hits on any surface and gets bounced back, or it gets reflected. So when it gets reflected, this ray is called as the reflected ray of light. If we draw a line between this is called as the normal. Now if we look at these angles, okay, this is I and this is called as angle of incidence. Okay, because this is forming, this is the incident ray and this is the normal, so this is I, angle of incidence, and this is R, which is called as angle of reflection, because this is the reflected ray and the normal. Okay, so incident ray, angle I, and reflected angle of incidence is angle R. Now reflecting objects, you all know that it can cast their shadows. Now a reflecting surface does not allow the light falling on it to pass through. A reflecting object does not absorb light falling on it. So what happens is when light falls on any reflecting surface, its shadow can be seen behind it. Now you see the light rays A and B. This is a mirror. A mirror is kept here. Okay, this is a mirror. Now you can see light rays A, B, and A and B is passing above the mirror. Okay, so they are passing straight. Now the light ray of C is touching the top of the mirror, and so what will this do? This will define the length of the shadow. कि ये shadow कितना लंबा होगा. And the rays, you can see D, E, F and G, they all are stopped by the mirror. And when it is stopped by the mirror, this will get reflected by the mirror. And when it is stopped by the mirror, the rays are reflected and we can see a shadow which will be formed behind it. So this is the shadow which is formed. Now what are the laws of reflection? There are two laws of reflection, that is the reflection of light takes place from a reflecting surface. Okay, whenever the light rays hits any surface, it gets reflected, and it gets reflected according to a definite law, and these laws are called as laws of reflection. There are two laws of reflection. What are the two laws of reflection? The first law of reflection is that the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lie in the same plane. Okay? Incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal, they all lie on the same plane. You can see this is one plane. Okay, this is one plane and this is another plane. You can see all these are on the same plane. Incident ray has come and hit, reflected ray and the normal. So this is the first law of reflection. The second is that the angle of incidence, that is I, is always equal to the angle of reflection. These are the two laws of reflection. Clear, children? Here one activity is given to show the two laws of reflection. What you have taken a drawing board, a white sheet of paper and a scale and plain mirror. You have taken a wooden board, and on this wooden board you have fixed a white sheet of paper with the help of drawing pins. Then you have drawn a straight line in the center of the paper with a pencil and mark it as A and B. Okay, you have marked it. You have to keep a plane mirror exactly on this line. You will keep a plane mirror exactly on this line, and then after drawing this you have to draw a perpendicular line ON. First you will draw a line perpendicular to this. This is ON. So this ON is the normal. Okay, this is the normal. Now what you have to do, you have to insert two ball points at any point, and it should be at least 4 to 5 centimeters apart from each other. And when these pins, you look at the mirror at these pins, okay, and you will see that this, again you will see the reflected rays on this mirror, and it will be, you can mark it as R and S. Okay, and if you measure this and after that you draw these lines, okay, wherever the reflected rays are formed you have to draw a line with the help of the ruler. Then you mark the angles. When you measure these angles, you will find that angle PON and the angle of reflection, this is PON, is the angle of incidence. This is the incident ray. Okay, this is the incident ray. So angle PON is the angle of incidence and angle SON is the angle of reflection. If you measure this, you will see that angle I is equal to angle R. So what does this prove? This proves that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. And further you will see that all these lines, the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray, they all lie on the same plane. So hence the law of reflection is proved. I hope, children, that this much is clear to all of you. Please go through the chapter, read the chapter properly, and if you have any doubt you can contact me. Thank you.